The only thing I know about it is you gotta verify the way the house is facing to the HVAC loads. That's all I know. Anything else, forget it.
But there'll be a class on special inspections. You know, a lot of people have interest in that. There's gonna be some, understanding manual J, and a couple of other, this energy codes can be done on Monday also. Kind of a pretty interesting day, in my opinion. Monday's the best day. If you're a variety of good things you can pick up, short classes, you don't have to sit through an 8-hour class and get bored to death on something you're not really interested in.
Stacey, you can talk the building official into it. We do have a pretty good time.
Yes.
We do Sunday night a president's reception and food.
And the auction is always fun.
Yeah. Monday night we have an exhibitor's reception and we have food. Tuesday night we have the annual banquet and we have food and DJ.
This will be a steak dinner that night.
It's
That's stay around for.
they have a real nice hospitality room.
And again, that gives you the opportunity, even with the building officials, to kind of, because like, you know, truthfully, you see familiar faces, but, you know, you need that time where you can actually say, well, I'm Robin, I'm with the city of North Charleston, you know, and know which building official is with where, and I mean, if you're like Darvis, I swear that man gets more emails and stuff from other people and everything, but I mean, that's
right.
just the whole key.
Sorry for you.
Thank you.
So does Frank, but you know.
I know.
It's good networking. So how other people run their offices, you can kind of maybe streamline, you can see how this, you know, it's fun.
Well, I mean, even talking with other municipalities as to how they do things, you know, you always can find something maybe that will, you know, make your, you know, municipality better, you know, or bring some new ideas. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now, is the permit tech, have y'all got registered with the state yet as far as the state registration, or we still just with ICC?
Still
Just with ICC.
Are you talking about the LLR?
Yeah.
Or?
No.
I thought, no?
State. See, and that's another thing too. Can I even, and I know this list keeps going and growing, but I know the one meeting that Gary Wiggins spoke, and I know you were there, most of the board members were there, and I got the impression from him that, you know, it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah,
And my thing is I would really like to put him back on the agenda to maybe speak again, but to also encourage the building officials to be at that meeting, because, you know, I know it was very confusing for me to reiterate it and say everything that Gary said, because it was very confusing as to why he felt that the state would not get on board with that, and his opinion. And, you know, I think really the building officials, because I'll be the first one to tell you that my building official is really interested in getting the state to accept that as a certification.
I think it was something to the fact that we'd be on there as an individual, not so much as a part of that, like we're with this jurisdiction. Meaning, if someone came in, and I don't know if these were his exact words, but he mentioned, like, for instance, if someone came in like a contractor and had a problem with us, or our encounter did not go well, they can go to that board and file a complaint against us as an individual.
So I mean, I guess my whole thing is, I think that the building officials like mine that are wanting it to be done, I think those are the ones that really need to sit down and hear what Gary's got to say, because coming from me, I know I'm not wording it correctly, exactly like he's saying what his, or how he feels the state is looking at it, and those I think would be beneficial in hearing exactly what he's got to say, because he actually gives you the pros and cons, gives his reason as to why he feels the state feels the way they do. And I know I told Darvis, I said, you really need to sit down and, you know, be there, or either talk with Gary one-on-one so that you can understand this is how he feels the state is looking at it, and why they're hesitant at accepting it as a certification classification.
What I got from that was, and this is just what I got from how
Right.
what I understood, was basically, and I'm not trying to say anything against the building official, but it was kind of like we would be taking on building officials' responsibilities. You know, like as far as holding the responsibility for something going wrong with your
Yeah.
permitting or
Yeah.
your plan review or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
And
then we
that's
can be put
basically-
under
Right.
investigation, I mean, anything,
Yeah.
because it's now, you're dealing with the license.
Yeah, 'cause that was like the main thing that his
Yeah, and I
point
feel
was.
like-
Well, and he
And
was
like I
saying
said-
something too about that it would have to be approved through the legislature and all of that. So I mean, like I said, it wasn't any one thing specifically that I felt like that he was feeling that the state wouldn't approve it. It was just the whole big picture of all of it together, that it would take years to get it done. It wasn't something that was gonna be a simple, oh, let's do this and, you know, by all means, by golly, it's done, you know? I didn't feel that it was something that would,
I
there
don't
was
feel
just
like
a lot of.
I don't feel like a permit tech gets paid enough to hold up.
Yeah, I don't, I'm very negative about it.
But see, in
I
all
don't-
fairness, that's where my boss is coming with this. In order for him to justify a pay increase for that slot, you've got to be able to have, you got to have the state or a certification that the state is, that is a valid classification. And one goes hand in hand with the other, is how he looks at it.
And not all permit techs would be able to be on that board, because not all of us have our certification, just like our
Well,
inspectors and
truthfully,
stuff,
with
they
my
have our.
municipality,
And if they did pass that, would they grandfather in the ones that couldn't pass? the
I'm sure that they would do that, I mean, from a state level, because I know in the past when, they created, it wasn't the, the electric classification, I think, they ended up giving the opportunity to the ones that, you know, if you enrolled, and then they grandfathered other ones in,
So that
so.
was contractors, that wasn't inspectors.
Right, I mean, I'm sorry, the contractors board, but I'm.
But inspectors, when we started, we thought this was gonna be a great thing for us, and a lot of it's come down to regulations. We've got a guy over there now in the building code council trying to get reinstated because charges were brought against him and all. But it's, can be a good thing, but the way they did us when they started it, anybody who was in a jurisdiction was grandfathered in at
Right.
whatever they were. They could not go somewhere else and be, if I was a building official in Newberry, I was grandfathered in.
But if
When I
you
quit
left-
that job, I couldn't go hire somewhere else to
Right.
be an inspector.
Yeah.
I had to become certified to do it.
You
A lot
lost
of
the
it,
grandfather clause, basically.
you lose it then. But, it can be a positive and there can be some negative, but if you've got an organization and you're learning, everybody's working together and you're trying not to make mistakes,
But I
it can be a
think
good
what
thing to be
the
certified.
young lady said about the worth of the job, I've been trying to get my techs, it's right down there, administrative assistant classification, I'm trying to move it upgrade to permanent tech classification, and then in lieu of that, put a grade progression level as a class certification. But if you're not accredited, it's harder for me to do and hard to justify the money with, especially with the budget like they are, to get any kind of accreditation. I'm all for state registration. But it does put a little liability on it, and no more than what, it doesn't mean you gotta be a building official. It just means that your job description, you have to maintain that in a professional manner. And be held accountable for a change. You know, that to me is a good thing, and it's a good tool for training and for maybe possible getting this, get y'all paid for what y'all do.
Exactly.
But we know, every building official knows what you work. It's just getting that money to get you paid.
It's just so much,
It's
like,
tough.
it is, and, you know, your HR department, your,
Basically,
your
it's
council
administrative
members, you know, they're, all they see is, you know, well, the building, the inspectors requires X amount of, you know, certification in order for them to do their job, the state, you know, and because the state does that, they feel that it's justifiable in paying them more money. And, you know, again, that's where Dartmouth has always felt too, one goes hand in hand in the fact that if the state recognizes it, again, it's a double-edged sword, because again, then there will be certain requirements you either have to pass or, you know, you don't have the certification, and
Well, it puts a little more pressure
Yeah.
on the new hire, but
Right.
it also makes you a better person.
Right.
It makes you learn your job.
right,
And we're all for the building official, we're all in favor of y'all knowing your job.
Right.
Period.
And it's like mine said, I'm okay with them doing it, go to the state level if they're gonna pay you for what you do, but for what we make.
And there's also no guarantee, once they do that they would. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, you
but the
know.
chances
But you
are
have the
that they
tool.
would.
You have the
Yeah.
tool, you
I
have
mean-
the ability.
But it's still, it's like you said, it's a
You got that
double-edged sword.
responsibility for
I
that
mean,
little bit of money.
yeah, so.
But the thing is, you're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all you.
You're doing it anyway, yeah.
y'all are one of the few organizations throughout the United States, one of the few states that have a permit technician association. There are only 3 or 4 others that I know of.
Yeah,
throughout
there's
the
like
US.
Washington and
There's,
Denver
yeah.
and.
Florida has 2, they have a lower and an upper.
Mhm.
Georgia has,
Georgia
I
has
think
one.
Georgia only has an upper.
Mhm.
Because when we were researching for the website and stuff like that, I only found, that there was like just a handful
Yeah.
of all throughout. That was it.
You know, and when you reach out to them, they usually will like give you advice and
Yeah, they
talk
do.
to you too. Because I
Yeah,
remember
they do.
when we were looking into the IRS thing, I think it was somebody in Washington I was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just forward CJ that email, but
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of good that you can go to them and ask questions too if they're willing to have to talk to you.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other business? Okay. Can I get a motion to close the meeting? Nice outside, girl.